What makes Fontainebleau so good to visit as a climber, in my opinion, would be the sheer quantity of classic, amazing problems that are so almost like they've been route set, like a route setter has come along and set some holds. It's hard to imagine how nature has created things to climb on so well, but it has. And that must be the draw for anybody coming here for a second visit. The first visit you will be astonished, and your next visit will be, you'll just be wanting more and more and more. I think people come, you know, hundreds of times, don't they? They fall in love with this place. It's an incredible place.
I think there's so much interest in rock, there's so much of it, and it's so easily accessible, and it keeps delivering, it keeps unfolding new areas, new boulders. People have never got bored of it. So the mix of that with the small villages, the forest, I mean the forest itself is incredible.
So it's a big deal to shape a font range for many, many reasons. There's a lot of climbing history here, and you want to do that a good service. So you want to reflect what the climbing is like here and what all the different types of hold types there are, rock textures there are, how you use the holds. You know, you want to do it justice, you want to make sure. And it's not my local area either, so I'm super aware that I'm in somebody else's backyard shaping some holds. You know, that, you know, it's not my, it's definitely not my zone de confort. To try and bring real rock holds into shaping and eventually to be used as climbing holds, the real hard bit is controlling what you want to do and making something functional as a climbing hold in real rock terms. This is. So it's easy to get carried away with real rock. It's easy to put a lot of cliches into the shaping, so the elephant skin stuff, kind of a classic approach to shaping Fontainebleau holds. And I really didn't want to just approach it from that side of things. I wanted to try and have a much broader plan of attack. This is possible. It's just taking a saw through with the foam. So we've looked at lots of different rock types in Fontainebleau and tried to reference in the shaping as many of those rock types, and the best parts, the most functional parts of those rock types that you can make a climbing hold out of.
Oh, salut! Good. A good climbing hole. What makes a good climbing hole? For me, it's a good climbing hole if it's a question I don't know how to solve. That means it's something that I don't know what to expect. So I'm intriguing. If I'm intriguing, I'm excited to play with. So it's like a new toy, you know. It's yeah, it has to be exciting to give you kind of inspiration. So it's exactly the way it works for me when I'm attracted by a hold. There are so many different holds in front, but in fact it's hard to. You cannot be safe at the first try. So you need to learn a little bit how to work, how to move with this hold. And again, it's a combination of different holds, the hand hold, the foot holds. So it's a big picture, but in general, it's you're just lost. You have to squeeze, you have to pull, to push at the same time you turn. Yes, it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn.
One of the biggest challenges was dealing with the variety of rock, and it's only something when you try to start recording the detail. So it was getting to grips with what a Fontainebleau hold really is, and it is a lot of different things. So even the marble, the famous slippery, marbly patches, There's several different versions of that. Some are completely flat, some are really jagged and got the marble on. Some have got a really high gloss marble, some it's almost peeling off. Even getting that right is just a big project in its own.
Working with Jackie and Laurent has been really helpful. It's validated or verified, if you like, that what I'm doing or this path I've taken with some of the shaping is the right direction. It's been really useful speaking to Jackie. He's been so helpful in, talking about the holds and what's involved in the competition scene at the moment and how, real rock holds are used or not used in competition climbing so much anymore. That's been a helpful process to try and consider or think how we could maybe change that or what route setters might look for in real rock holds to be used in a competition. And then obviously both Laurent and Jackie have climbed in the forest for 40 years, so what better people to verify the work that you're doing, that it's accurate or the detailing is, reasonable or good. And that's been an incredible boost.
The challenge here was to make sure that the right people were doing the shaping. So we're calling on, very, very good climbers who happen to be sculptors, like Laurent. By bringing in more people, by bringing in some of the local talent into this room, we can represent the best of the forest.
We want these holds to be as pleasant and as user-friendly as possible, so that's been a major challenge. The challenge between a natural, eroded look to the holds, a very natural way, and obviously the holds have to be touched by a human hand and created into a climbing hold, so the balance is tricky to get right.
It's a long time before the moulds are done and the first production shapes come back. And it's really nervous opening the boxes to see if what you thought was a good thing is a good thing, but actually these were a really good surprise. We've invited some of the best well-known climbers, the local blizzards from the forest, into the gym, into the home of Jackie Godoff and the French team to see if we'd managed to capture any of the magic of the forest and turn it into plastic and bring it inside, and how that would go down.
Climbing is an evolution. It's always an evolution. So I think to be back to the origin of climbing, that means the rock, and try to make it fit to the new games, I think it's quite challenging.
It's a big challenge to change people's ideas, that old school ideas like a bit of real rock climbing hold can actually be relevant in today's modern climbing. And to actually bring them into the gym in Fontainebleau and see just everybody's response to them, lots of the locals, and everyone's just really moved and motivated by how it reminds them of the forest. It's been a really good thing to see.